Good morning and welcome back to Glasgow Airport. And those of you who have watched my last video will know that I was here yesterday and it was very windy, so it's good that we've got a nice, bright, calm day for the flight today. And that is because we're going to be undertaking a very long journey home, which has already gone wrong. 2 train cancellations. So we're going to see how it goes. See if it goes wrong even more, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't and we'll make it back home on time. So I'm going to cut to the new itinerary whilst I go in and check in for the flight, which leaves in about 50 minutes. The first part of our journey starts here at Glasgow Airport, the main airport serving the Orkney archipelago, where we'll be taking the 0750 Loganair flight down to Scotland's largest city, Glasgow. However, as will become clear later, originally we were never even meant to be on this flight, but more on that upon arrival. For now, let's board our Loganair ATR 42-600 named Clan Balfour and take our seats featuring the lovely Harris tweed headrests. And as it was the first departure of the day, it took a little while for the plane to get warmed up before soon powering up its 2 turboprop engines and taxiing out onto Kirkwall's main runway for a swift departure bang on time. Soon after takeoff, it became apparent that we were going to have an amazing flight with some simply stunning morning views over the Scottish Highlands. And of course, it wouldn't be a Loganair flight without the complimentary shortbread and tea for breakfast. So enough of me talking as we enjoy one of my favourite ever plane journeys. And just 15 minutes later, after that spectacular flight, we were landing at Glasgow Airport a whole 10 minutes early. And as you can see, we have arrived at Glasgow Airport about 10 minutes early thanks to Loganair. So it was a really good flight, the views were amazing, it's such a clear day, so we were very lucky. So now we're just going to hop on the 500 bus service, which is the airport shuttle, into the centre to continue our journey down the West Coast main line from Glasgow Central. But because we've arrived about 10 minutes early and we did leave a lot of time for our connection in Glasgow, I think we'll have a couple of hours to explore around, get something to eat, and yeah, we'll just see how it goes from here. And we have made it into Glasgow city centre. So what I'm going to do now is drop off our luggage because our train's in about 3 hours, and then I will see you back here at around about 12:30. So whilst we wait for our midday Avanti departure, now's a good time to cover the complete chaos we faced just a week before our journey was to take place. Originally, our itinerary was to begin with a Loganair flight to Aberdeen, followed by a ScotRail HST down to Edinburgh Waverley in order to catch the 5 o'clock LNER evening departure. However, just a week before departure, we were informed that our ScotRail train had been cancelled, but that we would still be able to make it to Edinburgh using an alternative service. Yet more bad luck followed just days later with the announcement of strikes from LNER, meaning no trains were departing Edinburgh after 4 o'clock. So with our plans completely scuppered, we had to face the complete chaos of chasing train companies for refunds and rebooking our Loganair flights to Glasgow so that we could use the West Coast main line instead. A pretty rubbish start to our journey home. So now that we've covered the initial turmoil of this journey, let's head back to Central Station and hope the rest of the trip goes a bit more smoothly. It is 12:10 and we are back at Glasgow Central railway station, and in half an hour's time we will be catching the 12:40 Avanti West Coast service down the West Coast main line. It's bound for London Euston. We'll be getting off at Wigan and then changing onto an Edinburgh service, the one that's come from Edinburgh down to Coventry, due to the fact that our LNER train was cancelled a couple of weeks ago, which you will have heard about earlier. So I'm just going to make my way into the station now. We'll sit down and just wait for the train to start boarding. And I'm back at a familiar sight, which is walking up platform 1 and 2 at Glasgow Central. If you haven't seen my other two videos from here, then make sure to watch them, the Avanti First Class Review and the Avanti versus LNER. But for now, we are walking up to Coach J, and that is because we have booked standard premium seats, which is sort of between first class and standard class, and it's basically first class but without the complimentary food and drink. And the ticket pricing was from Glasgow to Coventry £63 in standard class and £95 for both of us with rail cards in standard premium. So we thought it would be worth it just for the extra comfort, the reclining seats. So we are nearly at the front of the train now. Coach J, as I said, which on weekdays is a first class coach, and then at weekends they turn it into a standard premium with only the front coach being first. So we'll jump on board the Pendolino and see how the rest of the journey goes. As mentioned, we would of course be travelling on one of Avanti's Class 390 Pendolino sets, so let's see what our standard premium carriage is actually like. Seating is laid out in a 2+1 configuration with a variety of tables of 2 and 4, as well as a handful of solo seats. I found the seats themselves to be extremely comfortable, featuring a smart leather headrest, an excellent amount of recline controlled by the lever on the left, and a good selection of charging options. As you can see, we've made it on board with 10 minutes to spare, so we're just going to sit back and relax and hopefully enjoy some nice views. So with departure from Glasgow Central due any minute now, let's have a look at today's route. After leaving the suburbs of the city, we soon speed our way into the heart of the Scottish Lowland Hills before crossing the border just north of our first stop, Carlisle. From here, we skirt along the edge of the Lake District and Yorkshire Dales National Parks with some beautiful views of various valleys and rivers that we pass. After subsequent stops at Lancaster and Preston, we soon arrive into Wigan's Northwestern Station. Total time to cover the 207 miles is scheduled to take 2 hours and 32 minutes, giving us an average speed of 82 miles per hour. and being a lunchtime departure, I headed down to the onboard shop in Coach C to collect some food before returning to our seats as we approached the city of Carlisle. And upon departure from the station, immediately to our left was the magnificent steam locomotive Tangmere, stabled in the sidings after hauling one of Northern Bell's luxury Pullman trains over the Settle and Carlisle line, something that I would absolutely love to do if I ever got the chance. So after that nice surprise, we sat back and enjoyed some beautiful summer scenery over northern England.
Approaching Lancaster.
And with the train just leaving behind me, we have completed the first section of the stretch between Glasgow and Coventry. So we spent 2.5 hours on that train, very comfortable ride in Avanti Standard Premium. So once this one has gone, we just need to wait here on platform 4 for the train coming from Edinburgh, which goes via the Birmingham line to get off at Coventry. So we've got about 14 minutes until that one arrives, and then we just have to get on for 2.25 hours and we'll be in Coventry. So let's have a look at the final part of our journey back to Stamford. Upon departure from Wigan, we make a quick succession of stops at Warrington Bank Quay, Crewe and Stafford before leaving the main West Coast main line for the Birmingham Loop line. After further calls at Wolverhampton and Sandwell and Dudley, we arrive into Birmingham New Street, where we have a 15-minute crew change. And just 20 minutes after departure from New Street, we arrive at the city of Coventry, meaning total travel time on Avanti to cover the 105 miles is a pretty slow 2 hours and 13 minutes, giving us an average speed of just 47 miles per hour. From here, we take a quick West Midlands railway service up to Nuneaton, from where we connect onto our local cross-country train service back to Stamford. So with our second Pendolino of the day arriving into Wigan North Western bang on time, let's hop on board once again in Standard Premium, this time in Coach H. And having got a free hot drink voucher from Avanti, I once again made my way to the onboard shop to collect some drinks and snacks. So as you can see, we are back in Avanti Standard Premium on this train to London Euston via Birmingham. So we've got our tea now and snacks. So we're just going to try and relax because it was a very early start this morning at 5:30. and having had our short 15-minute break at Birmingham, we were soon on our way again, passing the new HS2 station site at Curzon Street. And we've arrived at Coventry railway station bang on time. The Avanti service that we came in on is just behind me there on platform 1, and we crossed over to platform 4 to get the West Midlands railway service from here down to Nuneaton. So we're just going to wait for that. It arrives in about 10 minutes and then we'll just see how the rest of it goes. For the 22-minute journey up to Nuneaton, we'd be travelling on one of West Midlands Railway's relatively new Class 196 DMUs, which I've actually travelled on before from Hereford in a previous video, so make sure to give that a watch if you haven't already. But for now, let's make our way out of Coventry and towards Nuneaton Station.
If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text the British Transport Police.
So it's 6:30 now and we have arrived into Nuneaton railway station, and this is unfortunately where I sign off for today. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey, hasn't it? After everything went wrong before we had even left, it's all gone perfectly to plan. We've made all of our connections, everything's run on time, so it's been surprisingly good. And just the final section onwards back home to Stamford to go, but I'm not going to film that part as I've done it before in previous videos, so make sure to go and watch them. But yeah, as always, if you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I will hopefully see you next time.